Are you guys ready to have a good time tonight? Let them hear you in the back. Ladies and gentlemen, your hostess of the evening, you know her, you love her. Make some noise right now for Miss Andi Warner!
Hi. Well, first off, thank you everyone for coming. I'm so happy that you're here. Special thanks to our performing sponsor, Little Alley Steakhouse. If you haven't been there before, I'm not sure where you've been going, but everyone else is there. I'd also like to thank Megan Neal at Injury Finance for all of your help. I'd like to thank Harris Weinstein with the Weinstein Firm, wherever he is. Hurt 911 and Mike over there. Mike Goldberg with Freed Rogers and Goldberg. Adams and Reese, Cherokee Funding, Van Sant Law, and Laughing Skull Lounge, who helped make this possible. And all of you that are here tonight, Lauren Masterson. And Casey Butcher, wherever you are, thank you so much for helping me check everyone in, because that was really fun. I hope everyone's sitting with people they enjoy. But yeah, we have a really great show for you tonight. It's all of your peers, the people that you know, the people that you work with, and we have a really great host. His name is Paul Ollinger. He is brilliant and hilarious. He has performed at the Asheville Comedy Festival and Laughing Skull Festival. Please put your hands together for Paul. He's gonna walk you through the rest of the night. Thank you.
How we doing? Funniest lawyer crowd tonight. You guys excited to be here? What do you say? Yes? Yes, you? Are you excited to be here? All right. My name is Paul Ollinger. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the City Winery, where tonight we are going to crown Atlanta's funniest lawyer. It's a big thing. These guys in the back have been working really hard. They're excited to show you how much work they put into their sets. How about a big round of applause for the courage just for them to get up on stage, risk life, limb, and career to entertain you tonight. Now listen, before we dive in to the show, I've got to cover some business here. So I want you all to know, I'll answer the question everybody's been asking me. No, tonight does not qualify for CLE credit. So stop asking. There will be no CLE credit. Boo, especially not for professionalism. Dick jokes and professionalism do not go together, ladies and gentlemen. But after you see tonight's performances, you might believe that there's an opportunity to create CLE courses with new topics like the legal profession's ongoing struggle with substance abuse. That'd be a seminar worth attending, right? Attorneys and the dangers of performance-related anxiety. That'd be a good one. No, not that kind of performance-related anxiety, ma'am. That guy doesn't have any. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the guffaws. I appreciate that. Really appreciate that. So unlike most of you, I'm not an attorney. Make noise if you're an attorney. All right, make noise if you're not an attorney. Oh my God, look at that. All right, so like 80% of you got suckered into coming down here. You were volunteered by your boss. Hey, why don't you come down and laugh at my jokes since you worked a full day? You were voluntold to come down here. This morning you were talking to your spouse or boyfriend or girlfriend who's like, oh, I'm so excited to go down after work and pretend to like my boss. That's gonna be so much fun. Hey, but at least I get to pay for parking. Yeah, and traffic is so easy down at Ponce Highlands. It's exciting. I'm glad you guys are here. The unsung heroes, the office workers, the staff. There's a lot of beautiful women here tonight. That's nice. What else am I gonna get to tonight? Oh, I'm not a lawyer, but here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do what everybody does when you get around a lawyer. I'm gonna ask for free legal advice. I'm gonna look to borrow your career and your diplomas like it's a career pickup truck and I gotta move a couch across town. But the most annoying part about it is I'm gonna ask for advice in an arena that is not specific to your expertise. You'll be like, oh, you're a securities litigator? Hey, listen, I think my kid's classroom has asbestos in it. Can you hook me up with one of those mesothelioma guys? Mesothelioma, I said that right. I pronounced it properly. Thank you. Where are the trial lawyers? Make noise if you're a trial lawyer or part of a trial lawyer. Come on, you can make more noise. I just ask because, speaking of class action, I want you to know that in front of you tonight is a former Catholic who has some very interesting stories about my time as a handsome young altar boy. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that anything happened. I'm not saying that. But if the settlement is big enough, I could say that something happened. Because I have situational ethics. Pick up the silverware. Okay. We talked about the office workers. Okay, that's good. Here's the truth. I'm not an attorney, but from the age of 12 to the age of 25, I wanted to be an attorney. Like, that was my plan. I was gonna be an attorney, and here's how it started. We didn't have a lot of money when I was growing up, and one day when I was 12, I was out driving around Buckhead with my mom, and I saw a car go by, and I said, "Mom, what kind of car is that, and how do I get one?" And she said, "That was a Mercedes, and if you want one, you have to have a job that makes a lot of money, like a lawyer." And I was like, I want to be a lawyer. That's what I'm going to be. Now, looking back on it, I think what my mom was trying to say is that douchebags love to drive Mercedes. I think that's what she was trying to tell me. That's what she was saying. But I still wanted a Mercedes, so I wanted to be a lawyer. And so up until I was 25, I was like, I'm going to be a lawyer. And then when I was 25, I took the law school admissions test, the LSAT. And when I got my score back from the LSAT, I said, I think I'm going to business school. I think that's what I'm going to do. But maybe I should have given myself a little bit more credit. Like, maybe I had the opportunity to get into law school because, Georgia, we have a lot of law schools, right? We've got Mercer and Georgia State and John Marshall, but we also have some good schools, is what I'm trying to say. We've got some good schools here in Georgia. Like Emory, for example. Some people call Emory the Harvard of the South. That's pretty good, right? And some people call Mercer the Harvard of Macon, which is it's an oxymoron. That's an oxymoron. And some people call John Marshall the Mercer of Midtown. So or the Harvard of the 1400 block of West Peachtree Street. I don't mean to bag on John Marshall that bad, but every school has their own slogan, with UGA, it's like, we're founded in 1859. With Emory, hang on, I got their slogan right here. Their slogan is, the wise heart seeks knowledge. John Marshall's slogan is, the closest law school to the cheetah. That's what they say, that's their slogan. And by the way, if a dancer at the cheetah ever tells you she's working her, thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much, I appreciate that. You've been to the cheetah, I see. Is that, the cheetah? Sprechen Sie cheetah? Yes? If a dancer at the cheetah ever tells you she's working her way through law school, she goes to John Marshall. I'm just saying, Thank you. I did get an MBA, and I worked in corporate America. Like Andy said, I worked at Facebook for a little while, but I quit to be a stand-up comedian, and now I work nights like tonight for basically beer and free chicken wings. That's basically how I'm compensated. High status job, low status job, low pay. It's basically like being on the partner track at King & Spalding and quitting to go be a junior associate at Morgan & Morgan. That's what I'm trying to say. Hey, for the people, for the people. For the people. Oh, sorry, this is John Foy. That's John Foy. I don't mean to. The strong arm. All right, is John here tonight? John? No. Where the hell is John? He's in Orlando? John Foy doesn't live here in Atlanta? Oh, John Morgans. He's like Tom Shane. He doesn't even live here. Fuck that guy. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta tell you how this is gonna work. Tonight, we are here to crown Atlanta's funniest lawyer and the funniest attorney. Six of your colleagues, 6 of your industry colleagues are gonna perform 6 to 8 minutes of comedy. The funniest one, as voted on the judges, gets this trophy. And yes, that is a microphone on top, just in case you were wondering. And it's a microphone. See, that's the joke. That's good. Like one person laughs hard at each one of my jokes. That's a pretty good hit. So we got great judges here, great professional comics from Atlanta, Georgia. I want to introduce them to you. Ladies and gentlemen, in the back table, Miss Jen O'Neill Smith, Plug Chapman, Greg Behrens, and Jeremy Meese. Make some noise for the judges, everybody. They're taking time out of their night. We've got two great professional local comics to start us off the night. Are you guys ready for some comedy? Make some noise, crowd. This guy, he is a finalist in NBC stand-up competition, their national stand-up competition. Make some noise and welcome Mr. Ian Hebert, everybody. Ian. Here he is.
Hello, how you guys doing? Good? Good. I am not a lawyer. I probably need one, perhaps. I don't know. My name's Ian Hebert. I've lived in the city of Atlanta for about 30 years. And my favorite thing currently about Atlanta is that every time I step foot out of my house, a homeless person calls me Big Santa. Santa, of course, is known for being fat, so when they call me Big Santa, they're just sneaking an extra insult into the conversation. It's like, hey, double fat Santa, how are you doing? I had it happen the other day. I gave a homeless guy $1. And when I gave him the $1, he was like, thank you, Big Santa, I appreciate it, Big Santa, thank you, Big Santa. I'm like, how do you have a dance for it? I don't understand. And he saw me make a face, and he was like, oh, do you want the money back? Which I didn't even know was an option in that transaction. And I was like, no, you keep the money. He was like, thank you, Big Santa. I appreciate it, Big Santa. Thank you, Big Santa. And like moonwalks away from me. And then right after that happened, a woman came up to me and said, excuse me, I just saw what you did there. And I want to let you know that every time you give a homeless person $1, you're teaching them that they never have to get a job. And I was about to tell Ayn Rand to get away from me. But I didn't have a chance because the homeless guy heard what she said and raised his hand and said, I got this. And then he just chased that woman down the street. So God is real. And he is doing sassy work on Peachtree Street these days. Amazing. I travel a lot for this job. I was flying cross country recently and I was in the middle seat on about a 4-hour flight. And I was waiting for aisle seat to come along to see how my flight was gonna be. Window seat had taken a Xanax and given me my armrest, so we were cool. And I know nobody is getting on a plane and seeing me in a middle seat and going, ooh, I want to sit next to that. I get it. I'm aware. But I still judge people. It's a human condition, okay? And I'm not judging them on how they look. I'm judging them on whether they look talkative or not, because I don't want a best friend for 4 hours on the flight. And I see this guy walking down the aisle, and he's smiling and saying hi to strangers and shooting finger guns at people. And I'm like, oh, that looks exhausting. Please, Jesus, no. Please, Jesus, no. Please, Jesus, no. And he walks past me, and I'm like, thank you, Jesus. And then right behind him is a woman carrying a tiny dog in her hands. And I'm like, hit me one more time, Jesus. Hit me one more time. Hit me one more time. But she sits down next to me, and immediately when she sits down, she goes, hi, my name's Ginger. Like the spice? And this is my teacup Chihuahua teacup. I was like, did you just pitch a Bravo reality show to me? What is going on? And then she says, Teacup's my emotional support animal. And this is what the dog's doing. The dog is in her lap going, like freaking out. And all I could think to say was, you know, it looks like your emotional support animal could use its own. Like maybe you could find a lizard with its shit together to help the both of you out. That dog peed all over that woman on that flight. I don't know how that was emotionally supporting her, but I found it very distressing through the entire process. What kind of collective bargaining agreement or negotiations did animals lose that they're now responsible for supporting full-grown adult human beings with their complex emotional problems? That feels like more of a punishment for the animals. Like Teacup, for your crimes, you've been sentenced to Ginger, like the spice. And you must emotionally support her through her second divorce, her Klonopin addiction, and she just got bangs and she doesn't know how she feels about him. So buckle up! My other favorite thing about Atlanta is if they want to make something cool in the city of Atlanta, they just change the name of it. Have you guys heard what they're doing at Claremont Lounge? So they've remodeled it, they've reopened it, and they're about to rename it to Ponce Titty Market. All the strippers' titties will now be small batch and artisanal. But don't worry, they'll continue to be dry aged. Well, I have everyone's attention finally. Thank you. There's no better example of the rename, though, than Murder Kroger. If you don't know what Murder Kroger is, clap. If you don't know, okay, most everyone in the room. I can explain it very simply. On Ponce de Leon Avenue, right around the corner, there used to be a Kroger that was nicknamed Murder Kroger because originally one person in 1991 was killed there, and Atlanta, as kind of sarcastic assholes, was like, "It's Murder Kroger, get it?" And then in 2015, a very long time later, Kroger decided that they didn't want to have a store called Murder Kroger in Atlanta, and they hired a public relations company to do a PR campaign to change the nickname of the store from Murder Kroger to Beltline Kroger. This is all true. Of course, Beltline is a walking path that's going to save Atlanta somehow. I don't know. But they did all of this, and so it was everywhere in the press. And it was like, don't call it Murder Kroger, call it Beltline Kroger. Don't call it Murder Kroger, call it Beltline Kroger. And Atlanta collectively went, nah, we're good. It's like, piss off. And you know what? We're going to make T-shirts, too, which is a very Atlanta response to things, is to get mad and make T-shirts. So all that happened. And then right after that huge PR campaign, another person was killed in the parking lot of that Kroger, as if the murderers of Atlanta were saying, you will take that Kroger from our dead murderers' hands. That's the one we get sushi at, you know? And then they knocked the Kroger down, and in its place, they're building another Kroger, which everyone will end up calling Murder Kroger, because it's in our hearts now. It's a part of us. Look, the only way they would have ever called that Beltline Kroger is if someone was beaten to death with a bell while they were standing in line at that Kroger. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's a PR campaign that Kroger just doesn't have the guts to do. It just doesn't. Here's where it gets weird. So last summer, I had jury duty in the city of Atlanta, and the case that we got was the second murder, was the Kroger second murder. And they ask you, they go around the room to qualify you as a juror, and they're like, if you know anything about the case, raise your hand. I'm like, And they get to me, and the judge is like, well, what do you know about the case? And I'm like, well, I'm a comedian, and I tell a joke about it. And he's like, well, what does that mean? And I was like, well, jokes are setups and punchlines. Humor's subjective. How far back do you need me to go, Your Honor? And then he says, well, why don't you just tell the joke? And I was like, well, I didn't come here to perform, but if I must, I shall. And I told the joke, and I got to the part about the second murder, which is what the defendants were in the room for, and they stopped laughing, which I felt like was very suspicious, you know? And I got to the end of the joke, and the judge says, well, how does that normally go over? And I said, well, there's usually no one in the room involved, Your Honor. So it usually kills, it murders. My name's Ian Avery, that's my time. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your show.
Keep it going for Ian Avery, everybody. Come on, give it up for Ian. It was funny, right? Will you ever look at Murder Kroger the same way, ma'am? No, you will not. Hey, listen, y'all, tonight is all about love, and part of showing love to the performers is keeping your table talk to an absolute minimum so that you can hear the love they're bringing back to you. So can we do that? If you can hear me say shh, yeah, that's perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, your next performer is a very, very active stand-up comedian in the Atlanta community. She's also she also works in one of your local law firms at Adams and Reese. Please make welcome, you know her as Ms. B, Bernadette Emanuel, everybody. Make her welcome, come on.
Thank you. How are we doing, good people? Yes, I represent your paralegals. Yes, I am the only paralegal on the show tonight, and I just want to say to all the attorneys from every paralegal all over the world, shit, fucking damn! And that's how we feel. There's no joke in that. It's just the little things that we say at our desk. Like when you say, oh, can you file this? Oh, sure, I was only gonna go home. Fuck! There's no joke in that. It's just fuck! All right, I am gonna start with a joke. This is the disclaimer. Let me give this disclaimer first. The views and opinions brought to you by Bernadette Emanuel, AKA Miss B, do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions and policies of Adams and Reese. now that we got that out of the way, anything I say from here on out is brought to you by the several margaritas I had before I got on stage. So I'm gonna start out with a really shitty joke, and then I'm gonna say something nice, and then I'm gonna get off stage. So in this political climate, I know everyone has to make the decision. Do you want to run with the donkey? Do you want to run with the elephant? Who are you going for? Who are you voting for? I myself am a comedian, therefore I'm a conspiracy theorist, and all my views and opinions are brought to you by the Sci-Fi Channel and social media. Therefore, my opinion is choosing between Democrat and Republican is like choosing who do you want to rape you? The camp counselor or the priest? One way or the other, you're getting fucked against your will. I know that was a horrible joke. Some of you are gonna laugh when you get home. You're like, I can't believe I laughed at that. That was horrible. But that is how comedians feel. And really and truly, when you dig into conspiracy theories, I just feel like for the most part, politicians are friends and they're screwing us over together. They're working as a team and then they go on TV and be like, pretend I don't like you. No, really, just be mad at me. Grr. You wanna play golf tomorrow? Shh. Yes. I just feel like they're really passing notes to each other and texting each other. What time is tea time? Look up at the camera, be mad, be mad. I myself, I'm a foreigner. I am a proud foreigner. I love everything about being a foreigner. I love being from another country. I love the fact that I speak multiple languages. I love everything about myself. There's only a couple of things about being, where am I from? I'm from a shithole country. Proudly, I am Haitian. I am proud to be Haitian. I love everything about it. Thank you. That's okay. One person. The only thing about one person gives a shit. I'll take it. The only thing about being from another country is you think in America that you value education, but when you're from another country, education is the only thing that you have. In essence, you can say that you want to have friends and your family will tell you, you don't need a friend, you have a book. You don't need friends. Growing up in a Haitian household, there was only a couple of occupations that they acknowledged. You could be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, and basically nothing else exists. Now, can you imagine after 4 years of college explaining to your parents that you have decided not to go to law school? You've decided to drop out and pursue your dream to be a stand-up comedian. You want to do the what? No, I want to tell jokes for a living. I don't want to do this whole law thing. I want to tell jokes. What? I'm going to be a stand-up comedian. Why do you want to stand up? They don't have chair at your school? It's okay. Come home, get a chair, bring it back to school. Take all the chair for you and your friends. It's okay. I said, no, I want to tell jokes for a living. The joke is because you want me to die. You're trying to kill me. I don't want to kill you. I just want to follow my dreams. Let me tell you something. I don't come to America for you to have a dream. I come to America for you to have a good job. Nobody cares about your dreams. It gets even worse, the fact that my brother has more degrees than a little bit. My brother's got 17,000 degrees, doctorate, this, that, the other. They don't even introduce us the same way. They introduce my brother, oh my God. Look at my son. I love him. Did you know that he was a doctor? I call him Dr. Sun. Who? Who, her? Did you know she wants me to die? Thank you, Jesus. He's a doctor. He can bring me back to life. What my parents didn't get is that my brother didn't get a medical doctorate. He got a doctorate in English. The only thing he can do for them is write their eulogy or an essay. He's not writing, bringing nobody back to life. And then everything comes full circle. I turned around and got a job as a litigation paralegal. Now I sling jokes at night, and during the day, I say things like, fuck, shit, damn it, I wanna go home. All right, thank you so much. My name is Bernadette.
Keep it going for Bernadette, everybody. Come on. Did you like that? Yes? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, here's where we get going. This is where the contest starts. Are you ready for your first contestant for Atlanta's Funniest Attorney? I'm going to need more energy out of you guys. Let's hear some applause. Start clapping. This guy, like all trial attorneys, loves a good car accident from the Angel Law Firm. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen, for Bryce Angel. Come on. Give it up.
All right. That light's bright. So many familiar faces. This is good. This makes it a little easier. You know, at first you never know what you're getting into. But for those that don't know me, my name is Bryce Angel. And I know that name sounds a lot like a guy who convinced his chemistry buddy to invent roofies. But I digress. So first name's Bryce, and a lot of people hear that name like, God, man, he's got to be a douchebag. But then they hear my last name, Angel, and they're like, he's definitely a douchebag. I mean, look at his hair. It's like it almost knew how much he was going to inherit. I mean, the hair makes me look like I need to join a support group for people who peaked in high school. So I did. It's called CrossFit. So, speaking of high school, when I was in high school, I did a senior prank, and I let 20,000 crickets go in the cafeteria. And I thought for sure I was gonna get in trouble. But I went to high school in Aiken, South Carolina, and I didn't get in trouble because the teachers were just happy to get free bait. Go figure. So now I'm here doing comedy, and the last thing I want to hear after a joke is crickets. So here we go. You know, when I was 21, I was arrested for pissing in public. That's happened, and it was at the Carolina Cup. So for many of you who don't know what the Carolina Cup is, it's this fancy horse race in South Carolina, and man, they got me good. I mean, there is no white privilege when everybody there is white. I mean, they may as well have just called it Cracker Cup. You know, and the worst part, you know, when you do stupid things when you're a kid, they kind of stick with you for a while. And I now have to send my kids to private school because I'm not allowed within 300 yards of a public elementary school. It is. Hey, there's a silver lining to all this, though. I know all my neighbors because I'm legally obligated to introduce myself. It's just how it works in the legal system. So you know, when I was younger, I wanted to be a pilot. I wanted to join the military. I wanted to go to the military and fly airplanes. And then I just realized I couldn't stomach, you know, having a drill sergeant yelling at me. I know you know what I'm talking about. And, you know, I didn't want to do endless push-ups. And quite honestly, I don't think I could have passed a drug test. So now the only yelling I get is from my wife when she sees the bill for the jet fuel. So, you know, speaking of my wife, I gotta talk about her for a little bit. So I met my wife, probably like a lot of you folks have, on an illegal road race from Los Angeles to Miami called the Bull Run. And I realized, you know, the race was a lot like marriage. It was expensive, it was dangerous, and by the end of it, we're just sick of each other and looking forward to Miami. she's not gonna like that line. I'm probably getting divorced now. This is not good. But the funny thing is, you know, my wife's beautiful. She's amazing. She's a former model. She's intelligent. She went to UC Berkeley. She studied anthropology and cultures. I study culture, like the Ferrari culture, the private jet culture. I mean, you know, I think pretty much all cultures are equal. As long as you have a prenup, I think you're good. So I gotta confess, so I think it's probably time for a midlife crisis. I'm 42 years old, and about due for one. Issue is, I've been flying planes since I was 15. I've owned sports cars my whole life. I married a model, so really my whole life has been a midlife crisis. So, I mean, it's been a good run, but I think my midlife crisis is something a little more boring, like driving a minivan or cutting out coupons or having an affair with a local stripper named Candy. I don't know. Just kidding, Candy. I love you. Sorry. She's out there. Wife's giving her a dirty look right now, I think. But honestly, you know, I have to be honest with you. I'm a trial attorney, and I might chase an ambulance time or two here and there, but all my clients go home in a limo. At least when I'm dropping them off. I mean, for an extra 5%, seems reasonable. I don't know. But speaking of clients, I had a client, this is a real case, this is a true story. So guy calls me up and says, look, I want to sue because my penile implant is activating irregularly at times it shouldn't be. And I'm like, how did this happen? Well, I fell in a pothole, and ever since then, the pump's just not working. So I'm like listening to the story, and I got to agree, like, man, it's got to be hard. I mean, you know, we all know how annoying pop-ups can be. I mean, who wants to constantly be reminded of middle school? I mean, just not good. And the worst part is his wife wouldn't go anywhere with him. I mean, she's just worried about what's going to happen. I mean, she wouldn't go to Walmart with him. I'm like, shit, that doesn't make any sense. Like, what's wrong? I mean, who cares about a boner at Walmart? Like, that didn't even make the top 3 list of things that are weird at Walmart. Thank y'all very much. It's been great. And that was a quick 5 minutes.
Keep it going for Bryce Angel, everybody. Angel with 2 L's. Angel with 2 L's. Where's his wife? Are you one of the wife? Where's the wife down here? Where? His wife? Anyway. All right, guys, you ready for your next comedian? What do you say? Atlanta's funniest lawyer. Can we keep the table talk to a minute? Are we ready to show some love for our next performer? Yes? Ladies and gentlemen, this guy is impeccably dressed. He's from Barnes-Thornburg, where he does M&A work. His passions include skiing, hiking, and structuring mezzanine debt financing. Give it up for Stephen Upler, everybody. Come on. Stephen Upler.
Hello, my name is Stephen Opler, and I'm a lawyer. The thing I hate most about being a lawyer is when you go introduce yourself, it's like being in an AA meeting. Hey, I'm Steve. Hey, Steve. Yeah, I'm glad to be here. 42 days since I filled out a timesheet. You know, you go to an AA meeting, you might hear a recovering alcoholic say, man, I'm glad I'm sober. I was spending so much on legal fees. What's a recovering lawyer going to say? Man, I miss the days I was living my life in 6-minute increments. You know, a law firm is actually a lot like an AA meeting. You're surrounded by nervous, troubled people who've got some pretty dark things in their past. The difference is that at the AA meeting, those people are trying to get better. And we could start an organization called LA, Lawyers Anonymous. Of course, like tradition, we would start with a 12-step program until somebody came along and negotiated us down to 8. Look at me. Just look at me. I don't care where I go. Thank you. Sadly, it was him, not her. Sorry. It doesn't matter where I go. I don't say a thing. Everybody says, are you a lawyer? It's not the way I dress. It's not my glasses. It's not even my pocket square. I just look like somebody that's argumentative. Nobody ever looks at me and said, is he a race car driver? I look like a dude with a briefcase and multiple eHarmony profiles. You know, the worst part about being up here is when the only thing you say that's true is what gets a laugh. Now, this is a true story. I wouldn't make this up. I was at Emory getting a colonoscopy. I could not lie about this. I'm in the room. I'm wearing a gown. Nurse walks in. Before she says anything, hey, are you a lawyer? I'm just flabbergasted. I asked her how she could possibly know that. She goes, well, with lawyers, it's easy. I'm looking at two assholes at the same time. Well, as you can probably tell from this buttery smooth, Barry White accent, I'm from Alabama. I grew up in a small town called Florence, Alabama. There we go. My sister's right here. She's glad to see the show. You got to pay one person to show up, don't you? Yeah. Thanks, sis. I'll Venmo you. But my father used to say about Florence, he said, it's not the end of the world, but you can't see it from there. I think what he meant was if you live in Florence, and you know this is true, if you live in Florence, you probably want the world to end. But you know, the truth is that people from Alabama are among the most misunderstood people in the world. You think because we talk slow, we are slow. You might be right if I can only remember what in the hell we're talking about. As you probably have already deduced from this accent, I'm also Jewish. And you can imagine the surprise when I go visit friends at another synagogue and I bless them with hearing, hey, y'all want some brisket? I love this accent as a lawyer. It is really helpful in negotiations. It completely puts the other side off on their heels. The other lawyers think I'm stupid. I'm just being authentic. And the one thing lawyers hate more than this accent is somebody being authentic. You know, people often ask me, what was it like growing up in a small southern town in Alabama as a Jew? I wouldn't know. I didn't tell anybody. I was like Anne Frank walking in public. We had a Passover, we had a synagogue, we had a Walmart. I always use this accent when I'm talking about my Jewish upbringing. But, you know, seriously, my parents were very serious about fitting in with their community, fitting in with the neighbors, and they wanted to pass that down to their children. So they would sometimes take my sister and me out to the front yard, right past the inflatable Santa, and just to fit in, they'd burn a Star of David. Thank you very much for the best 10th of an hour in my life.
Keep it going for Steven Upler, everybody. Steven, yeah. That was funny, right? Good jokes. Ladies and gentlemen, you ready for your next comic? What do you say? They're not on your phone, ladies and gentlemen. Look up at the stage. This is where the love is. This is where you're needed tonight. This next guy coming to the stage has sick dance moves, and piercing blue eyes from the firm of Freed, Rogers, and Goldberg. Please make welcome Eric Rogers, everybody. Eric Rogers.
Hey, everybody. Hope you guys are ready for some below average jokes. Because the comedic genius, Eric Rogers, couldn't be here tonight. This is going to shock all of us, but he actually found someone to have consensual, unprotected sex with him 2 times. Shocked, bewildered. those are the two words that come to mind. Yeah, she's feeling it. Anyway, for those of you that don't know me, my name is actually not Eric Rogers. I am Brian Craig, and this is my first time doing stand-up, and thus far I'd like to think that this is going wonderfully well. Thank you. I'll be here all week, folks. Anyway, so I'm a last-minute entry. I didn't have time to prepare. I didn't have time to meet with the experts like all these other guys. They just told me I had to last 5 minutes, which in my entire life, I have never lasted 5 minutes. There is literally no fucking chance I'm lasting 5 minutes. I've got like 45 seconds of something amazing, and then I'm gonna tell you that this never happens, and I am so sorry. What do I got, like 3 minutes left? Yeah, this never happens. I'm getting married next week, actually 1 week from today. And that's the end of that joke. Yeah, we all know how this is gonna end. Anyway, what else is going on with me? Oh, actually, I had my 20-year high school reunion last weekend, which was fucking terrible. Don't go. I mean, that was the fucking worst thing I've ever done. Like, I've made a lot of bad decisions, but that is by far and away the worst decision I've ever made. And trust me, I have done some stuff that you should have done protection unprotected. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so one good thing that actually came of that was we relived probably the greatest story that ever happened from high school. There was this kid, he was a sophomore when I was a senior, and his dad was a professor. His name was Hunter Guckert, his dad was Harry Guckert. Harry Guckert was the professor. Harry was a fucking asshole. So Harry was going out of town, and Hunter decided to have a party, which you should never do when your dad is an asshole. So I get to the party, and I walk down to the basement, and everybody is drinking like it is the end of the world. They are drinking like it is the Civil War, and that somebody is about to come chop their legs off, and they need to get that lubricated for this procedure. I walk down to the basement. There is a kid that runs onto the pool table, full speed, jumps onto the pool table breaks in half. Another person finds out where Mr. Guckert's room is and goes and takes a shit on his computer. So the party was going great. So anyway, we're all drinking, and then all of a sudden, someone yells, something, police. And in this great word association moment that I had, I yell, fuck the police. And I start chanting it. And I am joined by 100 white drunken toddlers yelling, fuck the police. But the reason why someone said something, police is because the police were upstairs and they were watching a sea of 100 drunken white children screaming, fuck the police. I think he was actually mildly impressed. Until he yelled, get the paddy wagon. At which point, one of my buddies, who is now a father, takes a 40, smashes it on the ground, and yells, scatter. Which we did like it was Ratatouille. I run into the laundry room. I climb up on the washing machine. I come through a window, and I'm running through the back with the cop chasing me, and I see this giant fence, and I think, I've never climbed a fence that high. And then I woke up in my bed the next day. So on Monday, Hunter says, hey man, did you come to my party on Saturday? And I said, no, like a liar. And he said, shit got real fucked up. Somebody broke the pool table. Somebody shit on my dad's computer. But the worst thing is that someone stole antique photographs of my grandmother. And I thought, like a blackout drunk, and only Steve Urkel can do, did I do that? I did not think that I could do that, but I was never really sure. Until 3 years later, I'm playing video games with a buddy of mine, and we're smoking marijuana. Sorry. And he says, after a while, he says, hey, I want to show you something, which, always kind of makes you feel a little weary. So he takes me up to his bedroom, and there's a room off of his bedroom, which is also a little weary. And in it, there is all stolen antique photographs from various parties that he's stolen throughout the years. And I said, why? Why did you do this? And he said, because it's the one thing you can't replace. And that's how that joke ends. Thank you very much.
Eric Rogers, or so he says. That was great. Surrogates, I love that. Do you guys like him? Yes? I noticed nobody's really worried about their long-term employment when they're talking about their sets up here. Good God. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for your next performer? Let me hear some clapping, some cheering. What do you say? You better like her, because not only is she a proponent of the Oxford comma, she's also a municipal judge on Thursdays. Ladies and gentlemen, Lori Duff. Make some noise for Lori Duff.
Thank you. So, I'm a small town lawyer in a small firm, which is a whole lot different than being a big city lawyer in a big firm. For example, I'm not only the managing partner, I'm also the IT department. It's not because I know that much about computers, I just know more than my 84-year-old law partner. He was born in 1933. That's the same year as Ruth Bader Ginsburg. They double dated to the inaugural Barristers' Ball with Pebbles Flintstone and Bam Bam Rubble. So it's not that hard to know more about computers than him. When we first networked our computers, he started messing everything up and getting us viruses by clicking on every bright and shiny icon. And let me tell you, nobody likes getting viruses from old men. But we solved that problem. We got a complex system of firewalls and a computer designed by Fisher-Price. So when I found out I was in this competition, I used my mad IT skills to cyberstalk the competition and the sponsors. And I found out a lot of interesting information. I did. The most important thing I found out, and the most humiliating, is that I have by far the most cheap-looking website of everybody's. Of course, I'm up against a whole bunch of personal injury lawyers, and they're not known for their classy advertising campaigns. So compared to theirs, my website looks like it was made by a couple of Amish teenagers on a limited budget. Guess that goes along with my firm's motto, which is Ivory Tower Lawyers in a dumpy little duplex. It's not half as slick as Cade Perrian's motto. His motto is call Cade, get paid. Isn't that great? Simple, straightforward, tells you what you need to know. I tried coming up with something like that for me. Sounded like I was running for the 7th grade student council and losing. Let me try some of them out on you. Call Lori or it'll get gory. As if talking to a lawyer wasn't disgusting enough. Or how about this one? Call Lori, she won't bore ye. That one tested well with the Renaissance Festival crowd, but honestly, they're not known for their ability to pay hefty legal bills. And I'm not opposed to bartering for services, but I am not going to represent you in exchange for a turkey leg. Or how about this one? Call Lori, she's over 40. That doesn't conjure up an image that every hoodie-wearing billionaire is gonna hire, so who am I kidding? Call Cade, get paid already. there's a lot of canine imagery on these websites. Bryce Angel, whose headshot looks like he's a Georgetown prep yearbook photo. He advertises that he's an expert in dog bite cases. And Harris Weinstein, where's he? Right here. No relation to Harvey Weinstein, or at least no admitted relation to Harvey Weinstein. His nickname is the Georgia Pit Bull. Isn't that badass? The only time anyone ever associates me with a dog is when they call me a bitch in court. Though to be fair, that's probably a whole lot more often than anyone actually calls Harris the Georgia Pit Bull. So, in case the double Fs didn't give it away, or in case the menopausal chin hairs confused you, because this is 2018 and you can't assume anyone's gender, I can reveal to you without the use of pink balloons that I am the only woman in tonight's competition. And that may seem like skewed representation, especially because all anyone ever talks about is how funny women are. Yeah. But it actually makes some sense. Because, 50% of all law school graduates are women. But only 1 in 5 makes equity partner. Don't clap for that. Don't clap for that. Only 1 in 5 makes equity partner. See, I couldn't help myself. I'm a lawyer. If I'm going to use a statistic, I'm going to have a footnote. That was for the foot fetish weirdos out there. So I'm talking to you, sir. No, not you. The Georgia Pit Bull over there. Thank you. This bitch is out of here.
Keep it going for Lori, everybody. Come on. That Renaissance Festival joke was awesome. Where's the Weinstein guy? Was he right here? Is he over there, the pit bull? I see your billboard at Roswell and Wyuka every fucking morning. My God. And no, I don't work for the billboard company. I'm just saying it's there. It works. Where are the married people here tonight? Where are you? Make some noise if you're married. Raise your hand. Is that your lovely bride there with you, sir? Where's your wife? Yeah, she's nothing kills a relationship quite like proximity. Nice. Way to come out tonight. I've been married for 11 years. My wife sent me a link to some rings she thought were appropriate compensation for putting up with my ass for a decade. I clicked on them and said, "Do you think I'm cheating on you?" Because these rings are right out of the Kobe Bryant infidelity catalog, and I am not messing around. I know a lot more I didn't know what I didn't know about marriage. You gotta learn, right? You gotta learn. Like, before I was married, I never thought I would ever hear this phrase. I'm not gonna have sex with you until you clip your toenails. Never occurred to me that I would ever hear that phrase, ever. More importantly, it never occurred to me that I would be the person to say that phrase. That was the bigger surprise. That I would look at anything vaguely female and think, we gotta clean that up before this happens, right? I said to my wife, "Baby, you're a beautiful woman, but you've got some talons down there. And I'm on blood thinners, and if you cut me while my heart rate is elevated, I'm gonna bleed out all over these Ralph Lauren sheets that we got at Ross Dress for Less, and I'm not going back to that hellhole. It took me 3 hours to find pillowcases to match the dust ruffle, and that's no way to spend a Saturday afternoon. Are you ready for your next comedian? What do you say? Yes? This guy represents Carrollton, Georgia. He's from Perry and Injury Law. Make some noise for Cade Perry and everybody, come on. Cade.
How y'all doing? Lord. Harris Weinstein, Van Zant Law. I've got about every billboard in Atlanta covered sponsoring me. Well, I hail from West Georgia, the great county of Carroll. You head out I-20 West towards the sunset. For you city people, we are the gateway to Alabama. Roll Tide. I don't believe that shit. I don't even really sound this way, people. I just want y'all to think I'm an idiot. Hell, I've sounded this way so long, I think I'm an idiot. Y'all are just lucky I can speak English. Well, I tell you what. Being a lawyer was never exactly my dream job, you know? But then I found something. I'm country, but I don't have like gun racks on my car. I don't have deer heads all over my house, but I hunt. I hunt for injured people. Call Cade, get paid. By God, it's fun. But you know, being a personal injury lawyer, some people just don't like us. Those people into fancy stilt-stocking law firms, those pocket hanky-wearing douchebags like Scott Masterson. They say we degrade the profession. We don't degrade any profession. I mean, look at me. Do I look professional? Hell no. Well, like I said, I didn't dream of becoming a lawyer. I honestly have no damn clue how I became a lawyer. But here I stand on stage. It's kind of scary. I know a lot of these guys that have been up here, none of us were exactly law review material. But at least we can talk. I've been on a long soul search for what it is I want to do when I grow up. I think back to my first job. I was a dishwasher. I was on a dishwashing line at the Harvard for Hicks with the University of West Georgia. I was the only guy on that dishwashing line without special needs. At least that's what my mom told me. But then I moved on. I love shaking hands and kissing babies. Y'all know that. I'm gonna be a funeral director. I went to work at a funeral home. There was one huge hurdle. I was terrified of dead people. One day, it was during the holidays. The normal funeral director was out of town. The phone rang. I had to go pick up a dead body. Oh, shit. So there I go. I walk into this trailer. I hadn't been in many trailers, but by God, I went in this one. And there was Mr. Abner. Oh, shit. He died in his lazy boy, reclined, and he had been dead for a while. Mama and them were scattered about the trailer, just all up in arms. There I was with the stretcher, the body bag, and 2 gloves on my hand. I had to figure out how I was going to get Mr. Abner into that body bag and onto that stretcher, out of that recliner without touching him. So being the engineering marvel that I am, having sat in many a lazy boy, I decided the first step is going to be to release the latch. Duh. I wasn't gonna pick him up. So I bend down, I released that latch. It was like a damn slingshot. Mr. Abner comes forward, gets in his best Michael Jackson rigor mortis pose, and falls straight onto that damn body bag. Hallelujah, praise Jesus and every other God out there. That was my last day working at the funeral home. Thank God there weren't any Yelp reviews back then. This fat little son of a bitch came in there and body slammed my body. Well, I've been a dishwasher. I've worked at a funeral home, and now I'm a personal injury lawyer. I just like to clean up other people's messes, I guess. I think I'm gonna be an abortion doctor next. Do you receive it today? Thank you, Joel. Thank you, God. Well, one thing I did learn working at the funeral home, life is short, people. You don't have to be around shit you don't like. I'm terrified of clowns. I'm terrified of acrobats. I'm terrified of elephants. Hell, I was the only person in America that was happy the Ringling Brothers went out of business. Take that, kids. I'm also scared of sour cream and brie cheese. I know what y'all are thinking. Those are creamy white substances. I have searched through my past. Justice Brett Kavanaugh is nowhere to be found. But you also have to be around stuff you like. Men, we're in Midtown Atlanta tonight. Have any of you discovered the loofah? My God. You take that thing off the shower shelf, you start rubbing it on you, there's shit falling off everywhere. And it looks like you hadn't bathed in a year. But let me tell you the best part, men. I'm just getting hot and bothered thinking about it. That little spot between your balls and your butthole. I mean, it is dingleberries be gone. Whew. You have got to find you a taint brush if you don't have one. Well, thank y'all for being here tonight. You know, you got to use your talents in life. Don't waste them. It probably won't surprise y'all that I can fart on command. I've got 1 to 20 in the chamber at any time. I like to think of myself as the Kim Jong-un of farting. Thank y'all.
Cade Perrin, everybody, let him hear it. So the winner gets this trophy, and the loser gets Cade's wife's loofah to take home. So, come on, you look at him a little differently now that you know about his loofah, don't you? I'm a little hot and bothered by it. Come on, a little bit? No? All right, do you have a loofah? Never mind, my wife will be here soon, never mind. All right, are you guys ready for your last performer? What do you say? Yes, noise and attention, love up here. Pay this mic stand. We're gonna spend the extra $4, get a mic stand that works next time. This next guy, ladies and gentlemen, is from Cherokee Funding. In the back of the club, sipping Moet is where you'll find him. Please make welcome Chris Conifrey, please.
So, I just got back from Mexico. And I don't know if you guys do this shit, but I do it. I go to Mexico for 6 days, and I lose my mind. Because I think I can speak Spanish when I get back. So, first thing I do is I'll go to a Mexican restaurant. See the hostess. Señorita! ¿Dónde está el baño, Huh? She's like, the bathroom is at the end of the bar, like it is in every other Taco Mac in Atlanta. So I'm not a lawyer. Everyone that doesn't know me is like, you don't say. You're dressed like a Turkish EDM DJ with a 2-star rating on Yelp Istanbul. But I'm a vendor, which is, it's like hard to prepare something like this when you're a vendor. There's like no vendor jokes like there are lawyer jokes. Like no vendor ever took half your shit in a divorce. It's hard. Being a vendor is hard though, it's competitive. Like I'm a 48-year-old man, and then like, especially in like the legal funding world, where like everyone I compete with is like a 26-year-old beautiful woman, former fitness model, smart, works hard, might be double jointed. Pretty good at keeping it a secret. No, but like I said, I'm 48, and I've been through a bunch of shit in the last 4 years. Like, I got married, had a child, got divorced, got engaged, had a child, got divorced. Fuck, that's not funny. And so like most of the guys my age like have their shit together. They like do like adult stuff. They like talk like they're on Mad Men, and like they wear khakis or Dockers and button-down shirts. Have elbow patches on their blazers and shit. Like I dress like I took the show Entourage a little too seriously. Like I thought that shit was a documentary. I was like, but like, I try to be an adult. Like I try, like I'm 48, I try to get my shit together, and I'm like, Monday through Wednesday, I got it together. Like I do shit, like I like recycle. Like, I'll watch NCIS. Like if you have a fondue party, I'll probably come. But then like, Thursday night rolls around, and there I am at Johnny's fucking Hideaway again. Like, fuck. Johnny's isn't bad though. Like Johnny's, you can go to Johnny's if you have like 55 people. You go with like 2 people, the bartender will just be like, you want me to just put the roofie in the drink and just take the suspense out of it for you? So I'm from New York. Oh, anybody here from New York? That's like the best reaction I ever got from somebody from New York. Usually when you're from New York, somebody else from New York, so whoa, who's this guy? You're from New York? Where are you from New York? Long Island. Get the fuck out of here. Long Island, that's not New York. Nothing's good. You can be from the city. Where are you from? 86th Street. Get the fuck out of here. 86th Street. That's like next to Vermont. Nothing's good. I live inside the fucking torch of the Statue of Liberty. Oh, you're a high-rise guy. Fuck out of here. But I love living in the South now. Because like you motherfuckers don't judge me. Like, if it was New York, I was like, they'd be like, if I was in New York, somebody, hey, about Chris, he's got 2 kids with 2 different women. No! Here, you guys like want to bake me cookies when I tell you my story. I could be talking to a girl down here, and I'd be like, I don't even have to button up the story. I'd be like, yeah, I got 2 kids with 2 different women. Might have a third out there, I don't fucking know. She'd be like, but you're not married now? I'd be like, no. Okay. And you and your ex-wife, you never like got in a fist fight on your front lawn over a 3-liter bottle of Mountain Dew? The fuck? No. And you can like go within like 200 feet of schools and stuff? Yeah. Oh. Well, I'm going home. Are you coming? The other thing I love about the South, like Southern women, your intricate knowledge of college football is like no other. Like I was at a party with like my friend's mother. This woman has grandchildren. We're talking, game's up here, she's watching the game. She's kind of talking to me, saying some Southern shit. Now what she needs is a little more Jesus in her. How the fuck are you gonna, what? How the fuck are you gonna stay in cover two when the slot receiver just went in motion to the weak side and with an empty goddamn backfield? They ran the same damn play in Tuscaloosa 3 years ago on 3rd and 4 with 6 minutes left in the third quarter. Pay attention to the goddamn film room. I'm sorry, sweetie. Did you say you could go within 200 feet of school? You need to meet my daughter. I'm Chris Conifrey, thank you.
Keep it going for Chris Conifrey. That was awesome, right? And he's dressed like a Turkish DJ. That's funny as shit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now what happens is the judges are gonna convene to go over the scores and figure out who the funniest lawyer is. So give up right now for all the performers you've seen. Bryce, Steven, Brian, Lori, Cade, Chris. Awesome efforts. And while they are counting up the scores, you guys are gonna be entertained by one of my favorite comedians anywhere, not just in Atlanta. Hey, listen, shh. If you can hear me, say shh, yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this guy coming to the stage is hilarious. You can see him on shows on True TV and the show Love Is on the Oprah Winfrey Network. Give it up for the very funny Mr. David Perdue, everybody. David Perdue.
Y'all keep it going for every comedian that you saw tonight, everybody that came up and performed. Paul for hosting. All right, I'm gonna go look at this crowd. That is what I thought. There are not enough white people in here. That is awesome. Look, there's always somebody that looks around like, wait, I thought there were plenty. Like you forgot where you were. Full of lawyers and shit. This is cool. How many of y'all, when you heard the name David Perdue, you thought your senator was coming out here? Get out then. What the fuck's wrong with you? I hate having the same name as a senator, mainly because it just proves how stupid people really are. After shows, I really get this. People after shows come to me and they're like, David Perdue, is that like your stage name because of like the senator and shit? And I'm just like, oh, you don't know how names work, dummy. Like that's dumb as hell. It also proves how stupid people are because people actually think, and I have the DMs on my Twitter and Instagram to prove it, people think that they're reaching their senator via Twitter with their complaints. I'm just like, yo, do you even look at the profile picture, you dumbass? I'm an incredibly cute black man. I don't even own cowboy boots. I look nothing like this asshole. This is fun. I like this about you guys. You guys don't look like anybody here has a boo face, and I appreciate that about you. You know what a boo face is, man? You know what a boo face? Boo face is just somebody that comes to comedy shows like their whole day is already fucked up and they just came just to boo somebody. Nobody here has that. Despite you all being a lawyer or lawyer adjacent, you look like good people, and that's... Oh, y'all act like y'all are angels. Everybody knows people. Don't people hate lawyers, don't they? Most times. How do y'all, is that all right? How does that work with y'all self-esteem? Is that okay? Nobody checks on lawyers and see if they're okay. Are y'all okay as people? All right. And like, hell yeah, all right. Nah, nobody has a boo face. And I'm a comedian, and one of the worst things as comedians is to get booed. I've been booed before, but I don't have the worst boo story, but I feel like I have a boo story of note. Y'all mind if I share with y'all my boo story? All right. So I was doing comedy. I was like 2 years into doing comedy, and I was performing at the Underground Atlanta. Look at some people looking like, oh my God, he's still alive. Yeah. Yeah, no, still. If you've never been to Underground Atlanta, the best way to describe Underground Atlanta is a place that if you were to go there and you were walking around and you like saw a dead body, you'd be like, oh yeah, no, that belongs here. That fits everything else. That fits the decor. I hope I don't find another dead body though. Like that's what you would expect, right? So I'm on stage at Underground and I'm performing and I'm not great, but I'm not terrible. I'm being forgettable, which is like, that sounds bad to be forgettable, but for a comedian, it's like perfect to be forgettable. Because you don't want to be the topic of somebody's conversation on the ride home. Like, can you believe that motherfucker was that trash? And they just like talk about them the whole time. But if you're forgettable, they just, no one cares and it's perfect, right? So I'm on stage being forgettable and I forget, a gentleman comes into the venue and he's pushing a grocery cart. And I was like, oh man, I didn't know I was performing at a Kroger. That's weird. And I'll never forget, he was pushing a grocery cart, but he was also, I'll never forget what he was wearing. He was wearing both khaki pants and jean shorts at the exact same time. Both of those things. I wouldn't do that at all. That's weird. And then he had a sharp crease in the khaki pants. You know what I mean? Like the uncle crease. I saw Lori over there with the crease. You know what I mean? The sharp ass crease that like if you kick somebody, you like cut them a little bit, like that level of crease. It's pretentious crease. He had that in his pants, but he just came in the venue. He wasn't bothering anybody, and he pushed the cart. He sat in the back, and then after a while, he kind of stands up and he tries to like gather people to his cause. It's like, hey guys, listen to me, or whatever the fuck he was doing, and then. All of a sudden, I guess because nobody was paying attention to him, he just stands up and he just was like, hey man, boo, get your fat ass off the stage, I'm tired of this shit. Whoa. Guys understand what just happened to me then? You understand what happened to me? A whole homeless man booed me. A whole homeless man boo. You know what I'm saying? Can we do this as a group? Can we break down homeless real quick? First of all, homeless, you do not have what? A home. Second thing you do not have probably is a job to provide yourself some sort of housing. I don't know about you, those are two things that are typically tied very tightly to people's self-esteem. And yet, and still, this dude stood up, was like, look, I know I'm not providing much to society right now. However, this motherfucker needs to know he ain't shit. Get your fat ass off the stage, man. You ain't shit. He starts booing me. You would think that's the worst part of the story, right? It's not even the worst part of the story. Let me ask this, let me pull the crowd here. Like, anybody ever been to like a performance where the majority of the crowd was black? I'll answer for you, none of you. I know what I'm performing, like a sea of Winklevoss twins. This is weird. Winklevoss, if you will. No, but like something black people do, I don't know if I love it or hate, but it's like a crowd of black people at a performance will like see somebody, if they suck, instead of just booing them, we'll like take it up a notch and start like keying them. You take out your keys and just start shaking your keys. Like, I've done it before. When I was in college, I remember I was in college, and a young Chris Brown came to perform at our college, and this is before he beat up anybody, so we had to like him. You know what I mean? He was young and cute and spinning and dancing and shit. And I remember he tried to do one of those spin moves or whatever, and he tripped a little bit. And then me and like 1,000 other 19-year-olds like, this kid's trash. Boo! And we shook our keys at Chris Brown. I say that to say that this homeless man, after booing me, then produces a janitor-level amount of keys. You know, like janitors had those big-ass rings with 1 million keys on it? He pulled them shits out of his crease pockets and was like, oh, I got something for your ass. I said, boo, man, you ain't shit. Tired of that bullshit, man. Shook his keys at me. And that confused me even more because I was like, where the fuck do those keys go to? Why do you have so many keys? Homeless man, you know what I mean? Let me be very clear. If I ever find myself both homeless and with a whole bunch of keys, I promise you I'm not gonna be homeless for a long period of time. I promise you that. I'm gonna find something that opens up. You understand what I'm saying? Something. It can be a car door, a trunk, a dresser drawer, a little cupboard, anything. I'm not gonna sit around here and just be homeless with all them keys. Your whole life is out there. You out exploring shit. So I got upset at this dude and I yelled back. I was like, you wasting your goddamn time shaking them keys to me to find something to open up, bitch. That's what I said to him. Nope, I shouldn't have did that, because that's when the crowd was like, oh yeah, boo that asshole. Boo, you ain't shit. You can't boo a homeless man. What's wrong with you? I was out there operating with house privilege, didn't even know it. You can't punch down that way. It's not fair to him. You know what's weird, though? What's weird is, like, I think about that homeless dude probably every day of my life. I do. I think about that dude way too much. Like, I think about that dude in a way that, like, I, like, want to make him proud of me. I do, because I don't know if he was like motivated. I always felt like he was just like, I didn't like what you was doing, you could be better. You know what I mean? Like, no one motivates me more in comedy than that homeless man. Not my parents not believing in me, not my friends not caring about me doing comedy. Just this homeless dude with these khaki pants and jean shorts. In my best case, this is how I think about this dude in my mind. Like, hopefully one day, this is a perfect scenario. One day, this homeless dude's pushing that same grocery cart down the street, and he walks by like an old-timey TV shop. I know they don't exist, but just like stay with me. You know what I mean? Like the old-timey TV shop where all the TVs are like on the glass and they project out into the street, and then little kids can walk up and like, oh, that's my hero, whatever the fuck is on. You know what I'm talking about? And he's pushing that same grocery cart, and he looks up and he sees my little goofy ass on TV, and he just goes, God damn it, I knew he'd make it. You know what I mean? Look at this goofy ass. I knew I could get him there. I knew I could get him there. I love it. I love performing comedy all over. I'm a comedian. I've been a comedian almost 8 years. I love traveling doing comedy. It's very fun. Recently went to Portland, Oregon. Anybody ever been to Portland? I figured there's a lot of white people in here. Best way to describe Portland if you've never been to Portland, Portland is the opposite of Atlanta. Picking up what I'm putting down? I don't know. Here's what I mean. You know how Atlanta is known for having all the black people? Portland does not have any black people. Portland is, dare I say, too white. And here's why I can tell a city is too white. You can tell a city is too white by the number of white dudes that comfortably walk around with dreadlocks. You know what I mean? They're just very comfortable in their dreadlocks. You know what I mean? They just walk around like, yeah, I'm a dreadlock white dude. This is how I live my life. Goddamn right, that's a banjo on my hip. You want to hear a tune like that? That level of white is out there in Portland. It's a very weird city. They love being weird. They're also very progressive. It's a very progressive city. The reason why I know it's a very progressive city is because everyone there told me. Everyone was like, look how progressive we are. We're very progressive. Look how progressive we are. You should feel safe how progressive we are. And I was like, I don't feel safe anymore. Please stop. It's too much. You're aggressive with your progressive. I don't like it. I don't like it. Be chill. Be chill progressive. It was so progressive that, like, I remember every storefront had like a Black Lives Matter sign in the storefront. It was like, Black Lives Matter here at this mayonnaise shop. I was like, word? I know mayonnaise was so dangerous. Black Lives Matter here at this place where we make candles out of dog shit or whatever white people are doing for fun. I don't know, man. Pinterest got y'all out here wilding. Y'all just making random shit, making a shit ton of money off of it. Keep that shit up. It got to the point, though, I noticed that it was more Black Lives Matter signs than actual black people, though. I was walking around like, who the fuck are these signs for? Did y'all know I was coming? I didn't get an email about this. This is weird. I don't know. I'll share this. Sometimes I tell this story and people get weird, but I like being honest with y'all. Y'all seem cool. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like, this is a very real thing that happened. I was in Portland less than 24 hours, and me and a group of my friends decided to go to brunch because when in Rome. And we went to brunch, and I was about to go to the brunch spot, and I was about to cross the street, and I never forget, on the ground, as I was about to cross the street, I noticed on the ground, and I need y'all to stay with me, because I've already been funny, so I proved myself. Don't back away from me now. I noticed on the ground was just, it was just somebody's white lady just laying on the ground. Look, see, y'all pull back. I knew y'all would pull back. That's what I mean. It was just somebody's, okay, look, don't pull back. It was somebody's white, all right, every white lady, I don't mean in the possessive sense. Let me be very clear. I don't mean like someone owned this white lady. I just mean that like people care about her. You know, every white lady in here, somebody white lady, I just mean like if you saw like an old lady, but that's probably somebody's grandma, just it means care. That's what I mean. Her tennis shoes was clean. She didn't have no stains on the t-shirt. Yeah, okay, maybe it doesn't help. We all know what like a nobody's white lady is. Do we know what a okay, y'all don't know what a nobody, all right, stay with me, people. Nobody's white lady is like a white lady you see like downtown, and she's like riding around on a scooter, you know what I mean? And then like attached to her scooter, she tied like a plastic bag to keep all her treasures in. You know what I'm talking about? Inside that bag, she got like cat hair and smooth stones and crystals and shit. You know what I mean? And then she keep pearls around her neck because she classy, but it's only like 3 pearls on that bitch. You know what I mean? Just three little pearls. And her glasses are always like this, but she don't fix them. She's like, sir, do you know when the bus come this way? No, bitch, fix your glasses. Ain't nobody gonna talk to you with your glasses like that. That's nobody's white lady. What I'm saying, this is a good, clean white lady. It was somebody's white lady. And I was concerned. I was like, ain't nobody gonna come back for this good, clean white lady right here, right? I saw her there, but I wanted to do something, but I didn't because like Portland was a weird town, and I left her there because it is a weird town. I had already saw a dude in Portland turn what I thought was a walker into 3 different swords. I saw that with my own eyes. I thought it was an old man's walker, and he was like, ha-ha, 3 swords. And I'm like, bitch, you got 2 hands. You don't need 3 swords. What's that about? Right? Anyway, I left her there, and I went to brunch with my friends, and I had a great time at brunch. I would like to take this opportunity to shout out white people. Shout out to white people for being... Yeah, no. You know what would indicate that is you interrupting other people talking. Very white shit. Also, your lack of rhythm as you yell it. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what white people, this is very confusing. I don't know what y'all hear when y'all hear music or tunes, but it's never on beat. Like their example, it is never, you know, like black people be on the 2s and 4s and white people be on the 1s and what the hells. It's just like, what is happening up there? Anyway, I went to brunch and I want to shout out white people. I want to shout out white people for being adventurous with your jellies. I appreciate that about y'all. The lady was like, would you like to try a jalapeno bacon jelly? And I was like, who the fuck puts jalapeno and bacon in jelly? I'm black, we do grape and strawberry. We don't do the extra shit, right? And then I put it on a biscuit, and I promise you that's the best goddamn biscuit I've ever had in my life. I just want to say, white people have the adventurous gene. I know you guys have that. Normally it fucks up countries and areas, but when it comes to jellies, keep that shit up. Anyway, I had brunch for an hour and a half, right? Hour and a half, had brunch. I come back to my hotel. I kid you not, somebody's white lady is still there an hour and a half later, right? And at that point, that is a problem, right? We can agree that's a problem. That's a problem, right? So like, I don't know, I'm a Southerner born and raised. I still care about people. Like, I'm very Southern. I still say yes sir, no sir. Like, I still don't know what the fuck unsweet tea is. Like, that's how Southern I am, right? Yeah. So like the Southerner in me was like, yo, man, we gotta help this lady, man. She been here an hour and a half, man. She could be in danger, right? But like the black dude in me was like, do not put your fingerprints on this potentially dead white woman. You are too far away from home to be trying some shit like that. So what I did was, because I'm a good Southerner, I just kicked her a little bit and ran away. Because I care about people. All right, y'all, that's my time. My name is David Joseph Perdue. Thank you, guys.
Give it go for David Perdue. David Perdue, look for him on the show Love Is on the Oprah Winfrey Network. Are you all ready to find out who the funniest legal professional is, ladies and gentlemen? Do you want to know? All right, I want to invite all the performers who performed tonight. Come out on stage. Let's give another round of applause to everybody who performed. Bryce Angel, Stephen Oppler, Eric Rogers, Lori Duff, Cade Perry, and Chris Conifrey. Come out, people. Come out. It's National Coming Out Day. Come out. Come out. I still have 1 drink ticket left. I'm going to invest that wisely. All right. Another round of applause for all these great performers tonight. Come on. They risk life. Lem. Oh, hang on. In 3rd place, lady tonight, sponsored by Barnes and Thornburg, Stephen Oppler, everybody. Step up. Here's our man. Give it up for Stephen. Our 2nd place contestant tonight, sponsored by the Laughing Skull Lounge, is Lori Duff, everybody. And your 2018 funniest legal professional from Cherokee Funding is Chris Conifrey. Thank you guys for coming out. Thank you to all the sponsors. Thank you to David Perdue, Ian Hebert, Ms. B, Joe Smith, and Marshall Childs. Y'all have been awesome. Thanks for coming out. See ya.